The church bells tolled like a death knell as I stood at the altar, watching my daughter Emily glide down the aisle in her white gown, her arm linked with mine. But my eyes weren't on her radiant smile. They were locked on the back row, where my wife Sarah sat whispering into the ear of a man I recognized all too well. It was him, her lover, the one I'd discovered in our bed 6 months ago through hidden cameras I'd installed in a haze of suspicion. My blood boiled as she giggled at his touch, right there in front of our family, our friends, our daughter's sacred day. The betrayal hit like a sledgehammer, not just the affair, but the audacity to bring him here, to taint this moment. I clenched my fists, the ring on my finger feeling like a shackle. In that instant, humiliation turned to fury. I wouldn't let this slide. Not today. Not ever. The wedding reception was a blur of champagne toasts and forced smiles, but inside, I was a volcano on the brink. Emily danced with her new husband, Mark, oblivious to the storm brewing. Sarah had the nerve to introduce her lover, Derek, as an old family friend when he approached our table. His smug grin, the way his hand lingered on her waist, it fueled the fire I'd been stoking for months. I'd known about the affair since that fateful night when I came home early from a business trip. The evidence was irrefutable. Texts, photos, even hotel receipts I'd dug up from her purse. But I'd waited, plotting in silence, letting the rage fester like an open wound. That night, after the guests had left, I confronted her in our hotel suite. "How could you?" I hissed, shoving the printed screenshots in her face. Sarah's eyes widened, but she didn't deny it. Instead, she laughed, a cold, mocking sound that echoed in my soul. "You're pathetic, John. Always working, never seeing me. Derek gives me what you can't." Her words were daggers, twisting deeper into the betrayal. I wanted to scream, to shatter everything around us, but I held back. Revenge wasn't about explosive anger. It was a calculated strike, one that would dismantle her world piece by piece. The burden of it consumed me. Days turned into weeks of sleepless nights, where I'd stare at the ceiling, replaying every moment of our 25-year marriage. How had I missed the signs? The late nights at work, the sudden interest in gym memberships, the distant kisses. Work suffered. I snapped at colleagues, missed deadlines, my once thriving real estate business teetering as clients sensed my distraction. Emily called often, worried about the tension at home, but I brushed her off with lies about stress. "Dad, you look exhausted," she'd say, her voice laced with concern. It tore at me, knowing my pursuit of vengeance was poisoning the air around us, but I couldn't stop. Justice demanded it. Destruction was the only path. Intense scenes haunted my days. One evening, as Sarah packed for a business trip that I knew was a rendezvous with Derek, I stood in the doorway, heart pounding. Part of me screamed to end it then. Divorce papers ready in my drawer, but another voice whispered to wait, to make it hurt more. "You're destroying us," I muttered, but she just smirked. "You destroyed us first, with your neglect." The internal war raged. Was this justice, exposing her hypocrisy, or was I becoming the monster? My hands shook as I imagined confronting them publicly, the humiliation she'd feel mirroring my own. But it affected everyone. Emily's honeymoon was overshadowed by my brooding texts, her joy dimmed by the family's fracturing facade. Months dragged on, the revenge shaping my every decision. I hired a private investigator, amassing a dossier of their escapades, photos of stolen kisses in parks, emails planning secret weekends. The cost was steep, not just financially, but emotionally. Friends distanced themselves, sensing the darkness in me. At a family dinner, Emily confronted me. "What's happening, Dad? Mom's acting strange, and you're like a ghost." Tears welled in her eyes, and for a moment, I faltered. The pursuit was eroding my bond with her, turning me into a shell of a father. But the image of Derek at the wedding replayed, reigniting the fury. No, I wouldn't yield. I began laying traps, anonymous tips to Derek's wife, subtle leaks to mutual friends, watching as cracks formed in their perfect illusion. The turning point came unexpectedly during a heated argument with Sarah. She confessed, not out of remorse, but defiance. "Derek's leaving his wife for me. We're starting over." But then, a slip, an email I'd hacked revealed she'd been using our joint savings to fund their trysts, draining accounts meant for Emily's future. It wasn't just betrayal. It was theft, a calculated plunder of our life. In that moment, doubt crept in. Was revenge worth the toll on my health, my sanity? My doctor warned of high blood pressure, stress-induced insomnia. Yet, the unexpected truth hardened me further. Sarah wasn't just cheating. She was scheming to leave me penniless. Questioning paused. Vengeance surged. I filed for divorce quietly, gathering allies, lawyers, accountants, even Emily's reluctant support after showing her the evidence. The burden grew heavier, but so did my resolve. Life became a chessboard, every move toward their downfall. As the divorce proceedings loomed, the weight of revenge pressed like a vice. I transformed, leaner, sharper, but hollow inside. Mornings were rituals of reviewing evidence, evenings plotting the final blow. Emily's calls grew frantic. She'd pieced together fragments from whispers among relatives. "Dad, this is tearing Mom apart. Can't you talk?" Her plea stung, a reminder of how my vendetta rippled outward. Mark, her husband, even intervened, suggesting mediation. But mediation? For what absolution? No, Sarah's actions demanded exposure, the kind that would strip her bare in the eyes of the world. The intensity peaked during a pre-trial meeting. Sarah sat across from me, Derek lurking outside like a shadow. Her lawyer droned on about settlements, but I interrupted, slamming the folder of photos on the table. "This is what she's been doing with our money." Sarah's face paled, but she spat back. "You're obsessed, John. Let it go." The room spun, justice warred with destruction. Part of me saw the ruin. Our home sold, assets frozen, Emily caught in the crossfire. She'd stopped visiting, her messages curt. "I love you both, but this hate is killing me." My pursuit had isolated me, friends labeling me bitter, family pitying the broken man. Yet, the fire burned brighter. I orchestrated the climax meticulously. At a family reconciliation dinner I'd feigned to host, Emily's idea, twisted to my purpose. I invited everyone, relatives, friends, even Derek under the guise of closure. The venue was our old home, now echoing with emptiness. As toasts began, I stood, projector hidden behind me. "Before we move forward," I announced, voice steady despite the storm within, "let's see the truth." The screen flickered to life. Videos of Sarah and Derek, timestamps matching our anniversaries, bank statements showing the siphoned funds. Gasps filled the room. Sarah lunged for the remote, screaming, "You bastard!" Derek bolted, but not before uncles restrained him, faces twisted in disgust. The confrontation erupted. Emily sobbed, "Dad, why here? Why now?" Her pain pierced me, a momentary crack in my armor. But Sarah's venomous glare reignited it. "You've ruined everything," she wailed. "Good," I replied coldly. "Now you know how it feels." Chaos ensued, relatives shouting, Derek's denials crumbling as his wife, tipped off by me, arrived with her own accusations. The night ended in shattered glass and slammed doors, but for me, it was catharsis. The divorce judge, presented with the evidence, ruled in my favor. Full custody of remaining assets, alimony denied. Sarah was left destitute, Derek's marriage imploded. In the aftermath, the burden lifted, but scars remained. Emily distanced herself, her wedding joy forever tainted. I rebuilt alone, new business ventures, solitary travels. But the revenge had reshaped me into something unyielding. No regrets, though. The destruction was justified. The turning point's doubt had been fleeting. The truth of her greed solidified my path. Life moved on, colder, but empowered. The cost of revenge is a soul forged in fire, unyielding and alone. But the power of retribution brings a savage peace that no forgiveness could match. Moral of the story: in the pursuit of pure revenge, justice devours mercy, leaving only the victor's hollow triumph amid the ruins of all.